These moves unlock the San Diego Padres, as these players could have major impacts on this team, not just for this year, but maybe years to come, and fans should be excited. Let's talk about it. Hi, welcome back to another episode of Padres Digest with your host, Andrew. Today we have a nice hypothetical video for you guys, some more trade rumors, because who doesn't love trade rumors? Before we get into it though, please subscribe. We're on our way to 2,000 subscribers, and that makes me very happy. So please keep watching, please keep subscribing. Just keep being you, because we love you. Anyways, today we're going to talk about relief pitching. Yesterday's game, we did have some relief troubles with people like Yuki Matsui and Wandy Peralta. Not great yesterday is a nice way of putting it. So let's just pose the question, do we need to get relief help before the deadline, or are we okay where we are? And if we need some help, who can we get? Just simple questions, right? So the Padres definitely have a lot of depth relief-wise, especially in the minor league system. There's a lot of arms, right? A lot of arms. And it's not like our bullpen is bad by any means. There's a loud plane above me. Sorry if you can hear that. But like, I'll show you our rankings right now, right? It goes down for some reason. But number 1 is San Francisco with 2.96. But we are number 3 currently with 3.25 ERA. So top 3 in the league. You 100% cannot complain about it. It swaps a lot with Texas and Chicago. But top 5 anyways, not a horrible bullpen at all. Definitely one of the best bullpens in the league. Hello, Roldis Chapman. We'll talk about you in just a second. So it's not like we're hurting at bullpen. But I want to say this, right? I'm going to say a point, and then I'm going to kind of like counter it in the same exact sentence. But I'm a firm believer about never having enough bullpen arms. I think your bullpen should be stacked every year with solid to good players. And currently, we do have that in some retrospect. So it's not like we're hurting for relievers. That being said, like I said, there's no such thing as too many relievers. But if there was a way to have too many relievers, the Padres are very close to having too many relievers because we have so many. I can show you right now with this right here. This is basically everyone who's played a relief role for the Padres. There's some starters thrown in there for some reason, but most of them are all relievers, right? So our top 4, of course, Robert Suarez, Jason Adam, Jeremiah Estrada, Morahone, and then Peralta's thrown in there for some reason. So those are our consistent players, right? And then we have a whole bunch of every other people, and of course Tyler Wade, our most important relief pitcher. 0 WAR, sadly, even though it should not be 0 WAR. But anyways, I digress. So let's look at everybody, right? We'll stare at ERA, because ERA is the most digestible stat. Robert Suarez is looking worse, but still under 4, right? But the people I want to highlight, Yuki Matsui, 5.14 ERA, has not played great recently. I'll talk about that more in just a second. Alec Jacob, we haven't seen in a while, but he did pretty horrible. Sean Reynolds is looking bad. It has looked bad, but is looking better slowly, but he's not in the MLB right now. And then, of course, Brian Hoeing is just getting back from injury, so we'll give him some slack. Omar Cruz is a player we haven't seen in a while, but we'll talk about him in just a second. But one thing I do want to emphasize is the fact that we have a lot more right-handed pitchers than left-handed pitchers, which isn't like strange. We actually have more left-handed pitchers, I think, than other organizations, because obviously lefties aren't like an abundant resource, let's put it that way, if they were a resource. But we have Morahone, who's obviously great, right? He should stay the way he is. Wandy Peralta has been on and off all year. Yuki has been on for the start, but then kind of fallen off slowly. And then Omar Cruz is another left-hander who we don't use at all. 2 games. So let me pose you the question, right? Let's start with this. Do we need relief help? No, we don't need it, but it could be useful down the run. Because especially with our starters who don't go very deep into games, I think we need as much relief help as we can get. That being said, we don't need right-handed pitchers. We have plenty of right-handed relief pitchers. I think what we could work on are some left-handed pitching, right? So I kind of mentioned these names already. Yuki Matsui, last 7 games, 14.21 ERA, not great. Last 15, 9.95, obviously not great. Last month in general, not great for Yuki Matsui. His whip is pretty bad. Everything's pretty bad for Yuki, and I love Yuki, but he's not looking great, right? Wandy Peralta, on the other hand, he has been pretty solid looking recently. Last month, not great, but 3.24 ERA, 2.87 ERA, we'll take that. It's solid, right? It's not amazing. It's not great, but it's solid. His whip is not great, 1.44. A good whip is maybe like less than 1.35. A whip is like how many base runners make it the base while they pitch in an inning. Simplified. And that's like I said, Omar Cruz, who's only played 2 games. He's a left-hander, but we're probably not going to use him, right? Not a great ERA. So I presented you some names, right? I got 6 names in total. 3 you probably recognize and are bigger names, and then 3 who are some more low-key names you might know, you might not know, depending on how much baseball you watch. I don't want to assume. So let's start off with the player that you've seen on the thumbnail, depending on what thumbnail I'm using right now, and in the intro. If it brings up, there we go. Aroldis Chapman. You all know Aroldis Chapman, right? And he's definitely had some bad years, and he's definitely been amazing. But this year is surprising. He has a 1.25 ERA, which is amazing, especially from a guy who can probably still throw upwards of 100 plus miles per hour. He has a definite resurgence right now. He has a 1-year, $10.75 million contract, so he's definitely expensive. Is he worthy of a trade? What kind of a trade? What would he cost for a trade? Because he's definitely a big name, right? And the Red Sox aren't like out of the playoff race. I'm bringing it up on this side. They're like, yeah, they're just 2 games above 500, so they're not out of it. So I don't think they're looking to trade. But if they were, depending on how the rest of the season goes, Chapman is definitely a name that could be thrown around. Another name I want to bring up, you guys just saw him, and by you guys, I mean us in general, Hobie Milner, we just saw from Texas, slightly older as well, but he has a 2.42 ERA, nothing crazy like speed-wise, if I remember correctly. He does have like I don't want to say a wonky delivery, if I'm remembering him correctly, but, I mean, look at the stats. Nothing crazy, right? A pretty good whip. Almost below 1, or almost at 1 in general, and his career stats are pretty good, but 2.42 ERA. That is definitely someone that could help us in the bullpen. I don't know if he's anything like super sexy like a Chapman fastball, but if he's solid, right? Numbers don't lie. I mean, they do, but you know what I mean. Next, you'll probably recognize, because he was a Dodger back in the day, but Caleb Ferguson. Caleb Ferguson, obviously a left-hander, still relatively young, 29 years old. But he currently has a 2.79 ERA, and he's on the Pirates. And the Pirates aren't going to do anything anytime soon. Pretty sure he just signed a 1-year, $3 million contract with the Pirates, so he's still relatively cheap. And again, on the Pirates. But he might be a little expensive because he is a recognizable name and on a team that is willing to hold out if need be. But they do want to rebuild, but they're not going to, like, tank. Let's put it that way, right? Currently, the Pirates are not great, right? But well, they're unpredictable, right? You never know what the Pirates are going to do. Texas-wise, they're not out of it, but they're below 5. Oh, excuse me, they're below 500. So could they sell? And if they sell, they'll probably want a lot. So all of these players here are probably players that are good, right? But they might be expensive to get. And we don't have a lot of bullets. And by bullets, I mean prospects, or just players in general to give away. But they are definitely solid players, right? And then let me bring up the next slide of people. Some names you might have heard of, some names you might not know of. But I want to start off with, could be my favorite target, and I'll tell you for another reason in just a second. But Colby Allard, right? Allard? I don't know how to say his name, to be honest. But 2.55 ERA, left-hander with age of a 27-year-old, so still young. And he does have some arbitration control. I don't remember where I put that, but I think he has this year and next year underneath or under arbitration. So you could have him for 2 years. And I mean, his stats do look good. The whip isn't amazing, right? But a 2.55 ERA, that means they're not scoring. And we love that. One thing I do want to point out, though, you might not believe this, but the Guardians designated Allard for assignment on Thursday, the 3rd. So he's definitely not even like on the roster. He got designated. I don't think anyone's picked him up yet. I don't know if he's accepted a AAA role yet. But he sounds like he could be cheap, to be honest. And it's not like the Guardians are out of it. But if they're willing to designate one of their best relievers, why don't we pick him up? You know what I mean? Like, obviously 16 games isn't like a huge sample size, but he looks good. Why did they release him, or why did they designate him from assignment? I don't know. You'd have to ask the Guardians, but he looks like a player that could really help us, in my opinion. And controllable. Next person I do want to mention, he is on the 15-day IL. He'll probably be back before the deadline. But Keegan Akin, right? Age 30, not too old, not too young, right? But he does have some pretty good stats. I mean, 3.32 ERA. Again, whip not anything amazing, 1.42, but his ERA is respectable. He does have 39 games under his belt, so he definitely has experience this year. It's not like he's pitched like 2 games. He's definitely a solid piece. Strikeouts aren't anything incredible. I mean, he has about the same amount of strikeouts as he does games, so like a strikeout an inning, we'll say. But he looks solid. I don't know a whole lot about him besides the fact that he has a really good solid ERA. But again, he's a left-handed pitcher. He's young. I'm pretty sure he also has this year and next year under arbitration. So it's not like he's going to be a free agent next year. So I think that's definitely something we could look into. Even if he's injured, we can still look into it, right? Last person's a name I recognize. I don't know if you recognize, but Sean Newcomb, right? Age 32, a little older, but not like he's ancient or anything like that. He has $1 million on his contract next year, and I think next year he'll be a free agent. He got traded from the Red Sox to the Athletics for just cash considerations, and he doesn't have a super sexy ERA for a reliever. I mean, 3.65 is good. It's not crazy good, but it's good, right? It's solid, and he has 24 games under his belt, so he's played a lot. Not a lot, but like a decent amount, right? And his whip isn't great, probably the worst whip out of everyone here. But again, he's a left-hander. His ERA is pretty good, 3.65. So I definitely think this is something you, and by you I mean AJ Preller, should keep an eye on. Because again, I think if we need help at any position, it'll be left-handed relief pitchers. Right-hander, I think we're fine. Like I said, I think we're fine on right-handed pitchers. But left-handed relief pitchers, I think we could definitely use a boost on. That being said, if we do acquire these players, what does that mean we can do with Wandy Peralta and Yuki? Wandy is a DFA potential option. I think out of anyone, Wandy would be the easiest to DFA, even though his stats are better than Yuki. But I think Yuki still has more promise than Wandy does, because Wandy is more of a proven player. Yuki still has some hidden potential, in my opinion. And yes, I'm very biased, because I love Yuki Matsui. But yeah, that's just how I feel. Let me know how you guys feel. What I want for you guys, if you made it this far, first of all, I love you. But second of all, if you want me to do a deeper dive on any of these players, or just any players in general, I'll actually give you the link to the website I use, and I basically sorted it by ERA, reliever rankings. I just had a stroke, sorry. But tell me your top 3 out of my list, or just in general, and the most popular ones I'll do a deeper dive into. So make sure you comment on this video. Tell me your 3 favorite picks from what I've shown you, or just in general, and I'll make a deeper dive. Doesn't have to be only left-handers. If you think there's really a right-hander out there that we really need, let me know. Also, I know Suarez is a topic of either trading or keeping. We've already made a video about Suarez. I think Christian did. So if you want to watch that, watch that. But for right now, this will not be a Suarez video. Should we trade him? Should we keep him? Just who we should get if the Padres need relief help. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, comment your top 3 relievers. I'll do a deep dive on them. And how do you feel about the relievers I presented to you? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Andrew, should you never make a video ever again? Please don't say that. That'll hurt my feelings. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please subscribe as always, and go Padres. See you later for the game recap.